Probably put the odds at 3 to 1.
That's about right, isn't it? That's just from that regiment.
That's just from that one regiment over there. But there's no artillery. Well, not that I can see.
There's some cannons down there.
He said I'd try, but I doubt it. Well, I said to bring the gear to my place. I said I'll take it down here, but
Who's that? That's
kept putting
Christian.
on the phone.
That's flagpole and everything, isn't it?
That's a lot, yeah. It's a good job I had 3 spare here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this Civil War series has got 58th Massachusetts in it. It's got 1600 Fort Texas marching this Scottish flag right round the camp.
Yes, well, if I had knew how far that walk was, I would have filled out.
Right, boy, put that on. Carefully. There's an arrow in it.
This always worried me about the army, that there was always an adult looking after the drummer boy. It was always the same adult. And they were never related.
Brilliant. Well, this is a frock coat.
You're going to be nice and warm in that, Dom.
Sure, I'm saying.
It's not bad. Shoulder! Arms! Hey, bounce! See the feet. Face! Guide right. Forward! March!
1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1,
Cut me! Right shoulder shift!
1,
How did you get first involved in doing all this?
Well, first of all, I started off as a tabletop miniature wargamer, but there was not the atmosphere attached to that. I always felt I could go one step further by doing the reenactment.
And why really did you sort of get involved in this all and the tabletop as well?
Well, it's a strange story. It's actually therapy for me, because I served 8 years with the British Army, and it's something you never get out your system, and this is like letting me down gradually into civilian life.
So how often do you do it?
It's about, usually once a month, we're away for the weekend.
Right.
And the season ranges from February up to November, and maybe into December sometimes.
So do you go all over the country, or?
Oh, yeah, all over the country, and young Cameron here, Northern Ireland as well.
So how long have you been doing this?
Since March.
Oh, not very long then.
Not very long.
Oh. Do you enjoy it?
Oh yes, it's great.
Yes. So what do you do sort of during the day in real life?
I manufacture model soldiers.
So and what do you do?
Me, I work for the MOD now.
A bit different, then. So how did you get involved?
Well, I was brought up in the American Civil War. My father was interested in it, and I've always been interested. And I always wanted to do this, but I never got round to doing it. And this year I decided to go, and
Right.
this is why I'm here now.
So what actual roles do you play? What are you in the American Civil War?
Well, at the moment, we're with a Union Infantry Regiment, an Irish regiment made up of mainly Irish and British immigrants. And I play a company sergeant with Company B, and Cameron is the company sergeant of the colour sergeant, as you were, of Company K, which is our Irish detachment.
All right. So do you do other wars as well, or do you just do?
I used to do Dark Ages, but unfortunately I had too many broken bones from that.
It can be quite sort of dangerous
That
sometimes.
can be vicious,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Have you ever had any real sort of major injuries? Then what was the worst one?
I've lost partial use of a finger, but that's it. That was from Dark Ages, but nothing from this. It's quite safe.
Do you have to supply everything yourself, or who supplies the uniforms and things?
What we get is, within the society we've had sutlers, which are like the company streets have got like shops on them that sell the authentic reproductions, the equipment of the time, and it's quite cheap as well.
So you have to buy it from them?
Yeah, we buy it from them. It's all owned, and the company will buy some as a pool, so we've got pool equipment to loan out to new recruits.
All right. So do you make anything yourself, or?
You can do. I mean, the enterprising
Some
ones
people
amongst
do.
us will get the patterns, make the uniforms out of the patterns. Yeah, the bayonets are original on most rifles. Some people use the original rifles, as a number. Odd bits of kit like you go around the antique markets and you pick up coinage from the era and water bottles, buckles, that kind of thing. There's still plenty floating about from the American Civil War.
So do you have like all ages here? Do you have whole families doing it?
Yeah, we have what's called a cadet corps. We're just forming that, which is people under the age of, correct me if I'm wrong, 14 is it?
Yeah.
14. 14-year-olds can go into the line as drummer boys up to the age of 18, is that right?
That's right.
18, and then they can fire live weapons then. They're covered by the insurance.
So it's all live weapons and...
All live, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So have you got many children doing it at the moment?
In fact, in our company there's more children than there is adults.
There is.
That includes some of the adults, I think.
So the parents normally, they sort of come along with their parents
Yeah,
then?
they
They
have
don't
to
do
be escorted
All right.
by at least a guardian.
Okay. Do you do it on your own, or have you...
I
Is it
do it
just you?
on my own because my wife's mad and she's more into motorcycles than into this.
Right. So what does she think of you doing this then?
She thinks I'm mad anyway, but
Oh, fair enough.
she's quite happy with me going away,
Yeah.
getting rid of me.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's all.
Excellent. No, dog. Authentic dog as well, that one. Company, listening forward. Ah! Call out time, please, Paul Roland.
1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1,
My name's Chris.
And what regiment are you from?
I fight for the 19th Indiana.
Could you tell us a bit about the American Civil War then?
Well, it started in 1861 when the Confederates attacked Fort Sumter in Carolina. Although it wasn't a big event, it only killed one Union member of the garrison. That kicked it off. It sort of went downhill from there.
Alright. So what part of the war are you actually reenacting here? Is there a particular...
I don't think there's any particular battle here.
No.
It's just a general skirmish.
Okay.
But, we tend to portray around about 1863, so the middle period of the war.
So no one actually wins or anything at this
Uh,
reenactment then?
we're a bit outnumbered.
Alright.
A lot more Confederates than there are Union troops, so I think we might be losing.
So what are you?
I'm a Union, I fight for the North.
You're a Union.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you first get involved in all this then?
I saw a battle at my hometown up in Cheshire. I thought this looks like a bit of a laugh. I'll do that, and been doing it ever since. That was 7 years ago.
7 years?
Yeah.
So you do all different battles?
Yeah, we do every couple of years. We have an international event. It's run by ACWS and SOSCAN and all the other societies in the country all come together, and Europeans come over and Americans come over. And next year's is the Battle of Gettysburg at Weston Park in Telford.
All right.
So that should be big.
So do you ever go abroad at all to reenact
I went to the
battles?
States in '93 to the 130th anniversary of Gettysburg. There was 11,000 people on the field, and that was a fabulous sight.
So well travelled doing this then?
Oh yes, yes.
You go all over England as well?
All over the place. I mean, I mainly, because I'm from a society up in the north, so we tend to go down as far as the Midlands. But I'm guesting at this show, so I've travelled 150 miles to get here for the weekend.
So whereabouts do you live?
I live in Macclesfield in Cheshire.
Oh, Macclesfield. All right. So why have you come all the way down to this one then? Why?
It's a weekend. It's a good bit of escapism.
So-
Leave all your everyday cares and worries at home.
So is everything you're wearing authentic? And
Yeah, apart from these, it's all modern made. The boots, the trousers, waistcoat, and hat. Everything's obviously made these days, but it follows the patterns of the clothing of the time.
yeah. So have you ever had any major sort of wounds or?
Myself, no, thankfully.
No.
If when you go into hand-to-hand combat, you do get a bit of an occasional jab with a musket butt or a boot in the ribs, but it's all unintentional.
It's not all choreographed, or how choreographed is it then?
You have a basic battle plan, which the army commanders sort of have a big conflab and say, well, we'll go there and do that, and then you go around there and do that. But when it comes to actual getting stuck in, there's no.
So how's it all decided then? Who's going to be on which side and?
Well, so, sometimes it depends where you live. I mean, if you live in an area where there's a Union regiment, then it makes sense to join that. Or if you're an avid country and western fan and you're into the the grey hats with all the plumes and the spaghetti at the arms, and you'll fight for the Confederacy, but it doesn't really bother me.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
I'll catch you later on this afternoon. The angel will be through. Off the thanks, Mark. Off the thanks, barbed wire.
Where do we get this?
Stay away from the big cell.
Where do we get the powder from?
You give it to your powder.
Give it
powder. Fine powder, £2 to the gentleman, please.
Thank you.
There's supposed to be 101 here today.
Could you just all introduce yourselves, name and regiment, rank?
I'm Corporal Tremblay of the 14th Brooklyn Regiment, New York State Militia.
Private P. Sagler of the 14th Brooklyn, New York State Militia.
Private Smokey, 14th Brooklyn.
So how did you all get involved in this? Go first.
My family originally fought in the American Civil War, and for me it's just a thing to do because my ancestors did it originally, and I've always been interested in American history because my family are originally French, Canadian and American. So doing that is I'm just copying what my ancestors did in a sense.
What about you two? Is it a similar sort of thing?
Well, we used to do country and western, and then we came along to one of the shows, and we
got ropes in instead of watching it.
And we really enjoyed it. We've been in it about 4 years now.
Yep.
And we won't look back on it, you know.
So what all roles do you all particularly play then?
Well, I'm the drummer.
You're the drummer?
Infantry.
Infantry.
A comedian, I'd say.
That sees himself as a comedian.
I'm a corporal in our pioneer unit. We have to chop wood a lot and look around foraging for food in the woods and stuff like that.
Oh, so you've got all the sort of grotty jobs then?
Well, it keeps you out of other jobs that are a bit more grottier, to be honest.
So do you fight as well on the...
Yeah, we will fight on the battlefield as well.
What was the sort of best... Is that the best bit? What do you enjoy doing most, or...?
Fighting.
Yeah?
Fighting.
It's all a bit... I mean, people I've been speaking to before, it's all sort of a bit of an obsession for them. Is it sort of an obsession for all of you as well, or...?
It can get that way, you know.
It grows onto you, basically, like a vine on a wall, basically.
So do you rehearse a lot for it, or is it just at the battles?
No, not really. You come onto the field and you're told what to do. Like you form up in the morning at 10 o'clock for colours, and you're told how the day's basically going to go. Like
we do a lot of drill though, our unit, because some of it's in French and some of it's in English. We copy a French type drill, which was originally used by the French chasseurs and Zouave units in the 1830s, prior to the Crimean War as well. So our uniform is basically the chasseurs à pied, which is the foot soldiers, and basically they're used in woodland to break up skirmish units and things like that.
So everything's very authentic then, that you're wearing. Do you make any of it yourself? Or you do?
Yeah. My jacket was basically made up. I made that myself by hand, most of it.
Very impressive.
I make most of the uniforms for all the regiment. We use old fireman's jackets or whatever you can get hold of, and you sort of doctor them up, like,
So is there anything here which is original, or...?
Yeah, my medal.
Your medal. Where did you get that from?
I got it from a friend who's in another regiment, and it's a French medal of the Napoleonic Wars. It commemorates the Battle of Waterloo in the French army.
Okay, alright, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I'm Julie Coates, and I'm 18th Missouri Camp Follower.
I'm Mitch Cox. I'm normally a drummer with the 18th, but I'm a private today. I'm Kathy Garrett, and I'm one of the washerwomen.
So how did you all get involved in this? What started you off?
Well, I mainly got started through my brother, who used to be re-enacting but is retired at the moment. And my boyfriend also takes part, and he got me pulled in. As mad as I am. That's how I got into it.
How did you get involved?
Well, I just went along to an event and I didn't know that the American Civil War was reenacted in this country, and I'd always had an interest. Before I knew it, I'd been shanghaied into the regiment.
And how about you?
Same, boyfriend involved, and it was come along for the weekend, join in, see how you like it. And then before I knew it, I had ordered the dress and I was enrolled and in with it all.
So have you been doing it for very long? How long have you
This is my second one.
Second.
So I'm a baby.
So how long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for about 4 years now.
4 years?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I got pulled in about 92. I've been doing it ever since.
So how regularly do you, is it every weekend or?
Sometimes it's nearly every weekend or every couple of months or so. This particular event is the last one of the season. Sometimes we have a ball on Saturday night, which takes place every 2 years. Or like an event of later on tonight, it's like a hog roast for everyone to join in.
Lovely. So do you choose what particular roles you want to, how come you're like all in your dresses and you're actually...
Well, I just like to go on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Take part, rooting in the shooting, and in the Union cause.
So were you a bit of a tomboy when you were younger then, or?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
That you don't fancy doing?
I wouldn't mind, but
no?
this is the quieter life. This is easier. Well, it's not really, because you've got to sew their buttons on and look after them. So, but other than that, this is the easier life.
Did you have to make your own dresses, or?
I've made most of my own dresses, such as this, or a couple of the ball dresses that I've had made up have been made up by local shops.
So how many sort of changes of clothes do you have then?
About 2 or 3. Sort of something to wear, just normal camp dress during the day, and then depending whether we've got like something going on in the evening, if you like to sort of bring along a nice dress for the evening.
Would you like to have been around in those days yourselves, or do you wish you were born then and this was all real?
I think in hindsight it's sort of romantic to look in the past, and this is the best way to learn history, is to live it. I don't know really. It was a hard life then.
It makes you sympathise with them.
That's right. At least you know what your future's going to be right now, but then in those days people didn't know what the future held, which side was going to win and how it would affect them.
So what about all the people where you work?
It's like, I mean, I came out straight from work yesterday afternoon with all my bags and everything. It's like, oh, where are you off to, you know? I think I'm totally mad, but you know, it's just nice to sometimes get away for the weekend and take part in this sort of thing. Even though you get a bit fed up with these hoops, and you learn to sort of cope with it. So,
have you ever recruited anyone yourself, like from work? Someone's got really interested and then sort of decided to join?
I haven't myself, no.
No, well, we've got a special recruitment officer that organises events to sort of encourage people to join up. Although if members of the public do want to ask any questions, you're quite welcome. We'll pass them on the proper details.
Okay, right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Would you just like to introduce yourself, name, regiment?
Yeah, I'm Philip Cox. I'm with the South Carolina Regiment here from Texas.
So have you come over especially?
I'm living in the country.
You're living in the country?
Yes.
How long have you been living over here?
Been here 19 months.
19 months.
Yes, I'm aircraft inspector.
Were you a member of the regiment over there?
Yes, I was. I rode with Terry's Texas Rangers. I was in a cavalry unit, had my own horses, and I also rode with 1st U.S. Cavalry.
So did you travel all around America then?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I've been in reenactment since 1981, and I've been to all the 125th anniversary events. Very seasoned veteran.
So why did you choose to come over to England then?
I work.
Work?
Yeah, came here for a 3-year contract to I buy British goods for the U.S. Navy.
All right. So what made you initially get started, involved?
Initially, I met a fellow at work. He wore a Confederate kepi to work every day. His name was Richard Harris, and the same as the actor that's from here. And I asked him, I said, why do you wear this to work? He said, so people will ask me questions. And he told me about Civil War reenactment, and I thought I'd like it. So I got my kit together and been in it ever since. So my ancestors fought in the Civil War, and they also fought against the British in the Colonial War. And it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Done, gentlemen. Shoulder, arms. Order, arms. Attention, company. Shoulder, arms.
Thank you very much, Sergeant.
Cheer up.
Attention, company. Front rank. Have out. Face. Company, close order. March. Company, at the quick step. Forward. March. Third. 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 Company, right wheel. March.
Look left, touch left. Sorry, guide on the centre. Sorry, left.
Forward. March.
Guide on the centre. Look at the colours.
Boy, company into line. March.
Left to brake, go.
On. We got this dressing now.
Guide on the centre.
Dressing on the colours. Company, halt.
Dress it. Guide left. And
Company will fire by file. Ready. From the right file. Commence firing.
Aim. Fire. Bang.
Aim. Fire. Bang.
Aim. Fire.
Bang.
Aim. Fire. Bang.
Aim. Fire. Bang.
Aim. Fire.
Bang. Company, cease firing.
Could you all tell me your names and your regiment, please?
I'm Trooper Phil Shortland of the 7th Virginia Cavalry.
Right.
I'm First Lieutenant John Maddox, 7th Virginia Cavalry.
Trooper Patrice Merlier, 7th Virginia Cavalry.
Okay. Can you tell me how all this works? Because I'm slightly lost as to how it all sort of started and all these regiments and...
Well, the actual regiment started about 28 years ago. I only joined about 7 years ago. And we actually built up a cavalry unit as opposed to the standard infantry and artillery unit. So we've actually only been going about 2 years. So we're slowly learning from the infantry and artillery what it's all about.
Okay, and how did you sort of get first involved in it?
Well, I've been involved in American Civil War for about 30 years, but actual reenacting, I saw a show about 7 years ago, and I was so interested that I joined up.
Okay. Is that how you started, or how?
Well, I started about 4 years ago, but I was with a Western society that do Western outfits and stuff, and I've had friends that are part of the 7th Virginia Cavalry. I was interested in it, and I didn't know which way to join, and I approached my friends, and that's how I joined about a year ago.
Do you still do the Western?
Oh no, I've come out of that, and I'm just pure Civil War.
Okay. And how did you get involved in all this?
My first time.
It's your first time? Yeah. So whereabouts you've come from?
Brittany.
Brittany? Yeah. Have you come just over especially to do this?
Yeah.
So do you belong to anything over there, or?
In Brittany?
Yes.
Well, I'm doing medieval, but it's not the same period.
How long do you sort of take rehearsing and things, or is it?
Well, once we set the initial camp up, we spend a couple of hours a day drilling and doing various things until everyone is proficient at what they do. But it's an ongoing thing. You can't learn everything in 5 minutes.
Everybody's still learning, aren't they?
Yeah, we're all still learning.
So every battle, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the association, you'll always learn something new. You'll always run through the same sort of battle scenarios, but they'll all be different, and you'll learn new ways.
What other period wars do you do then?
Speaking for myself, I'm only interested in the American Civil War period. I do not do any other type of reenacting.
Why are you only interested in American
I don't know. One of those. It's just American Civil War. I've never been interested in anything else.
I saw you nodding then. Is that how it started for you as well? Or?
Maybe.
Yes. Same sort of thing. What do you do for a living then?
Well, actor.
You're an actor?
Yeah.
All right. So it sort of helps you and... Okay. Right, thank you very much. Okay, if you could all just briefly introduce yourselves and say your roles and things, starting here.
I'm Private Kim Maziri, 1st Arkansas Company.
First Guard, First Corporal, First Art.
Stephen Higginson, Private, First Art.
Horace Sutherland, Private, 1st Arkansas.
Roy Keane, Sergeant, 1st Arkansas.
Chris Higginson, Private, 1st Arkansas.
Brian King, Corporal, 1st Arkansas.
Okay, Sergeant, could you tell me how you started in this? What made you decide to join?
I've always been interested in it since I was sort of about 6, 7 years old. Had a load of little plastic soldiers. See an advert in Gunmart about 6, 7 years ago. Answered it, went to an event, been in it ever since.
Any interesting stories as to how anyone joined?
Well, I started off, formed my own unit in Gravesend called the 4th Texas, Company B, Company H, Orders Guards. Owing to the amount of correspondence, we're now on file in Confederate Centre in Hillsborough, Texas, which I visited last year. And because of the medical side of it, I've run into a lady who was, I didn't know at the time, but she ran the Blue Body chapter of the 4th of the Texas United Daughters of the Confederacy. And she gave me the honorary rank of General, which I hold. I prefer to fight as a private in 1st Arkansas now. I've been doing it since 87.
87. Are you the longest serving one here? Who's been doing the longest? No, who's...
No, I think that will be down to me.
You? How long?
Happens to be my 20th year this
20
year.
years?
Yes, I joined in 76 at Bath, or a battle just before Bath. I'm a serving police officer in London, so I was looking for an outlet totally different from what I do for a living. So
very different.
They were appearing at a stately home just down the road here 20 years ago, to which my mum and dad were working. I said, come down and see this great spectacular battle take place, and I just stood on the other side of this large lake, and puffs of smoke and men came out of the woods, and I thought, that's for me, and I'm off. And I joined on that very day, and here I am still.
I joined in May at the battle in East Sussex, and as a joke, my boss said to me, there's a Civil War event going down at Battle. He said, I'd like you to go down there and check the food samples. I thought he was kidding me. So I went down there and I saw dirty plates, dirty coffee cans, spoons, knives in dirt. It intrigued me so much I enlisted there and then.
You didn't give them a warning then?
No, didn't give them a warning. I was in the battle the next day and got blown to pieces. Enjoyed it ever since. Lovely company, great guys, lovely. Wouldn't leave it for the world.
Back there I saw someone with cooking a rabbit. So do you all catch your own food, is it, or do you actually go out and...
No, we quite often catch it from Tesco's or Sainsbury's.
Oh, right. You're not that authentic though, you don't go out...
We try and cook authentic a lot of the time. But as for actually catching a rabbit or stuff like that, no. As I say, we'll catch one from Safeways, they're easier.
They don't run so fast.
Do you all wish you were around actually in those days, or are you quite happy just having it sort of as weekends?
I wish I was around in them days.
Yeah.
I think I truly believe that if I was an incarnation of what I am today, but if I was there 130 years ago, I'm almost certain I would have fought for the Confederacy. In fact, my wife said to me, you must have been a soldier for the Confederacy in your previous life. And,
you haven't tried regression then to see if it actually were?
No. But I had a choice. Back home in Turkey. I done a very similar type of thing, but it was on the Ottoman Empire, the Janissaries. But this is better as far as I'm concerned. There was all knives and daggers and swords, but here, it's actually shooting. prefer this.
For the guns. Do you sort of think of it as more of an obsession then? Or?
Put it this way, at a battle we was asked, because it was pouring out of rain, they said we're going to call the battle off. English Heritage, we call the battle off. We said no way, we're going to fight. We fought.
I'm sure they didn't sort of back then say, oh, it's raining, I think we'll fight tomorrow.
That's right.
We fought.
What's the anything original here actually from the American Civil War? Any of your uniform?
Ancestors.
Or uniform?
Kit,
or,
yeah. If you go around the camp, you will find some. Definitely.
What about amongst you lot? Anything? No.
No, we wouldn't normally wear it in that, because if you lose it, it's worth too much money, and bits of equipment are always dropping off you, left, right, and centre, and it costs enough to replace it, even as in replicas. That, so yeah, you might find some authentic stuff around the camps, but nobody would wear it. That just in case it gets damaged or lost.
Okay, right. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Bye.
Got to get our ammo now.
bringing it back. Okay. Sweep up the wing.
Resurrect!
Sweep the field as we go up. Clear up what you can. No, they weren't. They were bringing it back.
Are they loaded? What's the play? It's coming!